Last week I worked on this very cute strawberry cake and I had 5 more Sylvanian figures left, so I wanted to do something really similar for this video. I'm thinking of doing a pudding for the golden retriever and possibly a chocolate cake for the koala. These are the colors that I chose for the pudding. I have this very custardy yellow, this caramelly brown, and the white for the whipped cream. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to freehand this pudding because I found a lot of patterns online, but they are not the right size. So I'm just gonna freehand this one. I think it's gonna be easier for me to do it like that. In the last dessert, I crocheted in the back loop only when I finished the base so I could turn 90 degrees upwards. I tried something different with this dessert and I saw a stitch that's called back post single crochet, and I think that that's going to work to be more structured. Basically, you insert your hook the same way, but instead of pulling through for a single crochet or only working in the back loop, you put your crochet hook behind the post and then you pull through. And I think that's why it's called back post single crochet. I may even be doing the stitch completely wrong. So I got the ridge that I wanted and the shape is there, but it's a little bit too small for what I want. So I'm going to add another increase on the bottom base. It just looks way smaller than this one. Ha! That's funny. So everything I just showed you guys was completely wrong. I don't know what stitch I was doing. The back post single crochet stitch, you're supposed to insert your hook in the back and then to the front and then pull through. I don't know what stitch I was doing, but this is the correct stitch that I wanted to do because I wanted to create like a ridge. So yeah, I don't know what stitch I was doing earlier, but I'm going to keep it in the video so you guys can tell me what stitch I was doing. Maybe I was doing front post single crochet. Maybe I was. Actually, maybe I was. That's actually so funny. I was doing front post crochet. It still looked good, but it's not exactly what I wanted, so back post crochet, the post is in the back, not the front. Very interesting, actually. So I made some progress. This is what I have so far. I think it's pretty good. It's very structured, so I really like that I did the back post single crochet on the bottom. I think it works really well, way better than the back loop only stitch. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on building upwards, and then I'm gonna switch to brown for the top of the pudding. Oh, And a little Tamagotchi update. My latest Tamagotchi also did not make it, so I'm getting a new egg. These are very fun. I just can't maintain them for some reason. My egg is hatching. I believe that I'm almost done. I did one decrease, and that is giving the slight inward curve that I want. So I think I'm gonna stop at just one decrease, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the caramel top. I have this brown for the top, so I'm gonna try and do a color change. There are usually spikes where you can see the transition, so I'm gonna try and do it a different way. I know that there are multiple ways to do a color change, so the one that I'm going to use is by using both yarn at the same time. If I don't like how it looks, I might frog it. And also because this yarn splits so much, I'm having a little bit of trouble. So if you see me shaking, it's because I'm holding it so tight. I'm not exactly sure what I did wrong, but the color change is correct. It's just the top of the stitch is facing outwards, so it's making the top actually come out. So I'm gonna frog it and just do a regular color change for now. I also prefer joined rounds because when you frog, you know exactly where the last round ends. So I think it's really good for when you are doing like any sort of pattern design, or you're just like, you know, making something up as you go. I think it's better to do it that way. I mean, everyone has different preferences. And also, I don't really like how continuous rounds doesn't look even when it's like flat. Yeah, doing a color change the good old-fashioned way is better. I was trying to get all fancy doing it the other way. I'm crocheting in the back loop only to make an attempt at curving it inwards so I can get a flat top. I had that issue with this cake that the top was not flat, it was like creating a dome shape. So I'm seeing if that's gonna be better. This is kind of what I have so far. I went ahead and put cardboard on the top and bottom just so it can be more firm, and I think it's coming out pretty good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and finish closing it up and then start working on the whipped cream. Okay, oh, I'm dropping things. So I'm attempting to crochet a beret right now. I have this idea to do a red beret so that it looks like a cherry hat. I'm just going to do one decrease here, probably a back loop only decrease, to see if I get like an inward curve almost. I think it's fine so far. This is like a fuzzy mohair yarn. It's really hard to work with, especially because it's very, very thin. It also gets stuck because it's kind of like in a knot. Oh, we got one stitch done. Oh my gosh. That was so hard. It broke. I'm gonna attempt to fix this. Okay, so the first project is completely done and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I was getting very frustrated on the beret, but it ended up working out just fine. And yeah, I think it came out really good. The next one is a koala, and he's very, very cute. So I'm thinking of doing an Oreo cake or a chocolate cake. This is what I got done last night. I was able to get the bottom part done. What I'm thinking of doing is 2 cake sheets with cream in the middle. The way I did this is I crocheted 8 in a magic ring, and then I increased to 64 single crochet, and then I worked in the back loop to create a curve. And I'm basically going to copy the same on the top so I can try and make a flat sheet cake. I don't know how flat it's gonna turn out. The reason why I did 8 single crochet in a magic ring is because I've had more luck with getting it to be a flat circle. Whenever I do 6 single crochet in a magic ring, it always domes, like no matter what. So I'm thinking that this is going to work better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish that. I'm also working with a smaller hook than I did with my last desserts. I don't know if it's because this is dark brown yarn, but gaps are showing a lot easier. Also, it's really hard to see my stitches with this yarn. I actually learned a lot from making these desserts. I think my crochet definitely leveled up in the last couple of weeks. Okay, I'm almost done with making the cake sheet, and I'm just going to close it up and then stuff it. So we are getting there. this is what I have so far. So my plan is now to make the cream in the middle, and I have two ways that I can approach this. I can either do a chain of bobble stitches, or I can do a magic ring and increase to 54 stitches and then have the bobble stitches on the outside of the magic ring. I'm thinking sew these together and then have the chain of bobble stitches going around on the outside. These are treble bobble stitches and they're turning out really good so far. I decided to go with a chain of bobble stitches instead of crocheting the magic ring. I think it's going to take less time if I do it this way, and also it'll be easier to attach. I sewed it together completely now. It sits nice and flat and is very firm, so I'm happy with that. Because they are display pieces, I want them, to not be easily knocked over. So that's the reason why I'm trying to make them like very firm, I guess you can say. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the toppings. I'm thinking of doing another bobble frosting on the top and an Oreo cookie. Okay, I finished another chain of whipped cream, so I think I'm pretty much done. I decided to only use the Oreo and whipped cream for the topping. Yay, so we completely finished both desserts. I'm very, very happy with how they turned out, and I'm very excited to display these later. Oh, they're so cute. I would love to know which one is your favorite, so if you can go ahead and let me know in the comments. I don't know which one my favorite one is. I really, really like this one. I'm definitely going to make more desserts. I really, really love designing them and they're really fun to do. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go ahead and subscribe to follow along. I will definitely be posting more desserts in the future, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.